And that was what really made me feel as light as air. And that's one of the biggest dangers that I found in bulimia, to give it up. I mean, it was very difficult.
Okay, we do have to take a commercial break. They pay for it. So, this is Jerry Graff. You're listening to the Sharp Health Hour. We're talking today about eating disorders. If you have any questions for any of my guests, 800-760 KFMB, 760-5362, pound or star 760 on your cell phones, pound AM 760 for AT&T customers. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. This is Jerry Graff, and this is the Sharp Health Hour. We're talking today about eating disorders. I have three guests in the studio, Dr. Thomas Hessling, Dr. Elise Curry, and Cynthia French. Any calls you'd like to make to talk to them about your personal experiences with eating disorders, or you have questions about or concerns about a family member or friend, don't hesitate to give us a call, 800-760-KFMB. That's 760-5362, pound or star 760 on your cell phone. AT&T customers can now use pound AM 760 to get through. Okay, let's get on to the other. We talked about anorexia during the first part of the program. Bulimia, let's define that for the audience.
Bulimia is defined as an episode of eating in a discrete period of time that the food is definitely larger than most individuals would eat under similar circumstances. Also associated with that binge or that episode is a feeling of a lack of control over the eating during the time the episode occurs. It's then followed by compensatory behavior to lose or prevent weight gain, either with self-induced vomiting, misuse of laxatives or diuretics, or excessive exercising or fasting. So it's a binge followed by the purge behavior. In order to be classified as an eating disorder, one needs to engage in such behavior an average of about twice a week for a 3-month period of time.
Okay, now, Cynthia, you said you experienced bulimia after the anorexia, so you sort of rolled from one to the other.
Right.
How did that go?
Well, I was anorexic for 7 years, from 15 to 22, so my college years were basically focused around my exercise schedule and my lack of eating. And my senior year, I was up to running 9 to 12 miles a day, riding a bike 30 to 40 miles, plus jumping rope 30 to 40 minutes every morning, walking to class, swimming in the evenings if it was in the winter, and still doing all the extracurricular activities and just burning myself, at both ends, and not eating, really not over 200 to 400 calories a day if I could swing that. And my senior year, I became anemic and had a stress fracture in my foot and forced myself to slow down, and my metabolic rate obviously had tried to accommodate my wacky schedule and non-eating and exercise programs. So I started gaining weight, and I freaked out and, in a panic was trying to figure out how to solve this horrible, nightmarish end of life sort of feeling of gaining weight. So I discovered bulimia. And at first, I thought, I'm going to do it once. I'm never going to do it again. But I slowly fell into the habit of doing it, and then it became something I couldn't stop.
Mm-hmm. And now you were bulimic for how many years?
I was bulimic 13 years.
13 years.
And there was a point where I was binging and purging up to 13 times a day.
Now, is this typical?
Sure. A lot of our patients come in binging and purging 3 or 4 times per day and feeling very out of control. They're also usually normal weight, unlike anorexia. It's very hard to tell if someone's bulimic. They look like everybody else.
Yeah, I did.
So if you have a family member who's leaving the dinner table and running to the restroom after dinner each meal, that's maybe something that should be thought about as a possibility?
Yes, definitely. Also, oftentimes the dentists find out that the person's bulimic because the way that their teeth are being worn is very different than other people. So there's a certain direction of the wearing of the teeth where they can tell. Mm-hmm.
We do have a caller on the line, so let us take the call. Carla from Point Loma, how are you this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
Fine, thank you. You have a question for one of my guests?
Yeah.
Or all of them?
Okay, I'm a part of Point Loma Nazarene University in San Diego. I'm a senior, and I'm also from Maui, Hawaii, and at my school we have some of the thinnest, most fit Christian girls here at our school, where there is that standard basically to be perfect in a lot of ways, which can be placed on a lot of just Christians in general. But obviously the whole world of girls struggles with this kind of thing. And I know that San Diego is like the main place for college campus girls to be anorexic or have eating disorder problems. And I think my frustration, I have been through what I would say more of just as an eating disorder mentality, where I didn't necessarily lose tons of weight, but I was obsessed with gaining weight and with that fear, and it would drive me into depression. I would be compulsively eating. That's actually how it started, was that I was just kind of like listening to my tongue and going after what my taste buds craved rather than what my body needed. And then in the process of gaining weight, I was not the image that basically I see in every magazine that I walk by in the grocery store. And it drives such anger within me. I definitely think it's a control issue, but I guess what I'm trying to address, or why I called, is because I think it also has so much to do with, like, I mean, I don't know many girls being changed because we just like threw statistics at them about their dental and their bones and and the death rate. I mean, no girl is aware of it when she gets into it, and she can avoid it successfully. She can avoid those kinds of fears. But how can we remember that these images that I don't know, the media or movies or different things like that produce, how can we forget about the fact that that's what so many men see as being the ideal body? And for me, I just got engaged to my fiance, and it destroys me every time we go to a store and I know that like he has to see that image, or we go to a movie and they're displaying two other people's ideal bodies having sex. And I don't know how to think of what he'll think when he sees me. That's
excellent commentary, and I'm going to let both Drs. Curry and Hessling respond to that. That's excellent, Carla. Thank you. Go ahead.
Actually, Carla, I mean, so much of what you said relates to eating disorders in general that we've been talking about. You mentioned your fear of gaining weight. You talked about the drive for thinness. You talked about the disturbance you have in terms of your own body image. And what goes on even in terms of comparing yourself to what the media and what's out there in everyday culture.
Yes.
Eating disorders are, again, it's a complex disorder made up of psychological factors, socio-cultural factors, and also family dynamics. And I think your question sort of addresses from your perspective of what you experienced and the conflicts you continue to feel as you struggle with the disorder.
And one of the more important things is about the media is what they're showing us is something that only 3% of women can attain, and that's that very thin look with large breasts. I mean, unless you have surgery or something, that doesn't really follow. So I like to call them mutants because they aren't really, sometimes they're not even real. They're airbrushed. So we're trying to compare ourselves to something that's not even real.
Right.
We do have to take our half-hour break, but Carla, stay tuned because after our news break, we're going to come back and continue to discuss the points that you just brought up on the air, and we really appreciate your call. This is Jerry Graff. You're listening to the Sharp Health Hour. We're talking today about eating disorders. If you want to talk to us, give us a call, 800-760-KFMB, 760-5362, star or pound 760 on your cell phones. A free call. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
It's all local. It's all live. It's the Sharp Health Hour with Jerry Graff. Call now. 1-800-760-KFMB. Star or pound 760 on your cell phone. 760 KFMB. San Diego's talk station.
That everything's okay. And then I have to say.
This is Jerry Graff, and you're listening to Reba McEntire. And on this album, Cynthia is singing right now.
Right now. I'm glad we waited to the chorus so you can hear me. I'm the low voice. Can you hear me?